Well, hello, everyone. We are asking everyone to stay on mute. This is being recorded. So if you do not want to be recorded, either hide your face or we'll see you next time. We're going to have Bertha start with an introduction, and then we'll go right into our program. We thank you in advance for being here. Bertha, you're on mute.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining. And I just lost something, just a second. Because I'm going to be introducing Mindy Crawford, and she's the Executive Director of Preservation Pennsylvania, one of the main organizations that that has funded these grants. Now, I'm trying to do this as I'm talking, so just hold on one second. And actually, now that I think about it, Mindy, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, I was just going to tell you I could do that.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mindy Goulden Crawford, and Executive Director of Preservation Pennsylvania. We're the statewide nonprofit advocacy organization. And I have been in preservation my whole career, mostly at Preservation Pennsylvania, and prior to that at Historic York in York County. And I have to say that of all the projects I've worked on, this one has been one of the most rewarding. So I'm very excited to talk about it. So do you want me to just start talking about it for everyone? Okay, all right. So I'd have to say that partnering with Pennsylvania Hallowed Grounds to provide assistance to African American cemeteries, it has been a great partnership. I've joked a number of times that we were building the airplane while we were flying it, and it was true. We ran into all kinds of things we didn't expect, but we continued to just pivot and turn this into a really wonderful project. We are able to, because we are a 501c3, we are able to apply for the grants and manage them, but we couldn't manage the grants without the expertise of Pennsylvania Hallowed Grounds. And so we made a very good team. They were so willing to teach someone who didn't know a whole lot about cemeteries and share their wealth with me. And now I'm hooked. Our first partnership was a pilot program with Heritage PA, which is the Association of State and National Heritage Areas in Pennsylvania. And we were able to get a very small grant from them to do a pilot project to provide conservation plans, that's the word I'm looking for, to 3 cemeteries and a very small direct grant. And this was a really great way for us to see what the interest was and to see that we really needed to provide more funds. So when we were very pleased with how that happened, and at the same time, we had the opportunity to apply to the National Trust for Historic Preservation's African American Cultural Heritage Action Fund. And this is a very competitive grant. There were over 600 applicants, and they only awarded 33 projects, and we were so fortunate to be one of them. We received a grant of $50,000 from the National Trust, and my board was willing to take a grant that we had received from the 1772 Foundation to do a project that didn't come to fruition, to use this for match. Now, match money wasn't required by the National Trust, but we were able, because we were willing to put the match in, we were able to do a much more robust program. We were one of the few, I guess only the second mini grant program that the National Trust ever funded using this fund. Usually they would fund just one project. So we did kind of create the program, and we're really happy to be reporting on it back to them so that hopefully they'll consider to do mini grants again. We received great interest in the program. And as I said, we were sort of building it as we went. I had the opportunity to visit 4 cemeteries with Jason Harp from RGA, and also visit 2 cemeteries with Patricia Davenport from Terracon, 2 of our consultants. And that really gave me a perspective that I didn't have before, because although I've certainly visited plenty of cemeteries, to be able to visit with a conservator and a preservationist was really a wonderful experience for me. So from my perspective, what my takeaway is, you are all heroes I have never worked with such dedicated people, cemetery stewards who are out there in all the weather, doing all the things, dealing with trees, dealing with headstones, vandalism, trash, all kinds of horrible things that you need to do to keep your cemetery in order. And you are so inspirational to me. And I look forward to hopefully we have applied for another round of funding, not from the National Trust, but from another source. And I'm really hoping that we're able to get it so that we can continue this program. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, if this is okay with Bertha, to Charlotte Stone, who has been our rock star, who came into this to run the cemetery grant program for us, really not knowing maybe a little less than I did about it. And she has really stepped up. So Charlotte, turn it over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charlotte Stone, and I'm the project coordinator for the African American Cemetery Project. And I joined this project because of my personal interest in genealogy, and I had a bit of a background in grant management. But as Mindy mentioned, I didn't have a ton of knowledge on this subject before coming into it. But really, I've learned so much from this experience and all the work that's been done during my time with this project. So my role was to kind of keep the project moving forward and to support the grantees throughout the project. And there were grants to 13 cemeteries in 10 different counties across the state. And so of those grants, there were 7 preservation plans. And so those cemeteries got to work with a consultant to identify and understand the needs of the cemetery. And those plans will provide guidance on the best methods to preserve the cemetery and address any issues they might be facing or any concerns they have. In addition to that, there were 11 direct grants. And so that was money that was given to the cemeteries to carry out a project related to preservation or maintenance of the cemetery. So some of those projects included resetting headstones, ground maintenance, tools for maintenance, tree removal, signage, among other things. But those were some of the main uses that we saw coming up. And then just to share a little bit about my experience with this project, it's been really rewarding to get to work with Mindy and Pennsylvania Hollow Grounds Board and the cemetery stewards. It's been really eye-opening, and I feel like I've really learned a lot about the unique needs of each cemetery and the projects that they have going on. I was able to visit just 2 cemeteries during my time, but those visits were really powerful to be there and to see it firsthand. And on a personal note, this has just been so meaningful. You know, I have family that moved up to the Pittsburgh area during the Great Migration. They're located somewhere out there. I'm still doing the research on that. And so being able to support this work has been very meaningful to me. And I know how exciting it is when you can find that information, you can find your people. I know how frustrating and disheartening it is when that information has been lost or just is not available. And I just have so much appreciation for the work of all the grantees and everyone involved from this project. There's just been so much passion and love done through this project and with the ongoing work. And it's been really inspirational and wonderful to see. So I'm just thankful to be a part of this project, and I look forward to hearing from the grantees. Thank you.
Bertha, you're on mute.
I thought I took myself off, but apparently I didn't. So now we're going to go in order. Right now we have 8 cemeteries represented on this program, and we're going to go in this particular order. The first one is going to be Byberry Township African American Burial Grounds in the county of Philadelphia. That would be Deborah Gray. Deborah?
Good evening. Yes, it's Deborah Gary.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, no, everybody does that. So I think I'm practicing later. I see I can upload, since I did make a little slide thing. I'll upload it for y'all to look at a later time. But yes, the Byberry Township African American Burial Ground is in the farther northeast portion of Philadelphia. All the townships were incorporated into Philadelphia. So this burial ground, I don't know if you all recall from the last time we presented, is an undisturbed area, basically unmaintained for a large period of time, burial ground. So there are no markers, no stones. It's basically a wooded area that I learned about in a February 2022 Black History segment on CBS. So at that point, we really jumped into the picture. Preservation Alliance partnered with us to start figuring out what to do with this location, who the owners were, and why wasn't it being maintained. So last time we spoke, we had an implementation plan in the works from a National Trust Jordan Fund grant. So we finished that roughly around the same time that the preservation plan grant that we were awarded by your organization. Thank you. So we were finishing the implementation plan grant at that time. And so we already had some things in the works based on just all of the communication that our consultant, Hannah Wallace, had found out in the year that both with the title search that Preservation Alliance had in place, we found that there really was no owner per se. The Byberry Friends meeting had sold it to the city in 1980, and it turns out, we found out as of last year, that the title was never recorded. So that's why there's like a 43-year gap of no maintenance. And so there's trees now that have basically are, although tall, they're still less than 40 years old. So the preservation plan then, again, it was awarded to Richard Grubb and Associates, and Reagan Mantini and Jason Harp were our primary authors. So they basically were doing everything that a preservation plan would call for, but in our case, again, there's no markers, no headstones. There's no really identified bordering, no fencing. So the plan does give us a lot of good information on what to consider with a wooded location, where also at this point there is no clear even border of the site. Again, once I upload, you'll see that this burial ground was established in 1780, but at that point, again, these were farms that have recently, in the next 100 years, the Byberry meeting even let a neighbor farm the land. So if there were stones that say would have been left, or any kind of markers that would have been left for this is the free and formerly enslaved that would have been buried here, then they would have been removed when the land was farmed. But the plan does give us, good guidance on when we choose to do cleanups, what to keep in mind. So you don't want to necessarily remove stones because they might be really a marker. So yes, we definitely was given good information. In the last couple of 100 years, there's been several aerial views done of the site, and each one presents a different border. So again, that would be a challenge for anything that we're attempting to figure out in the future. Really, what is the border of this burial site? So what I didn't also remind you of, this location that it's in happens to be at the exterior edge or outside the exterior edge of the Benjamin Rush State Park, the only state park in the city of Philadelphia. So the only way you can get to it is to go in through the park. all the original roads, with the exception of the path, which was a road, all the other original roads have since been, removed. So there is no other accessibility to it. So in this past time, we've been working with the state, Senator Dillon, and the DCNR for them to just formally incorporate it into the state park. So again, the preservation plan talks about, that should be done just like we've all had already been working it. But they, as a state, also want to know what is the real borders. And so we have that on order. We had the city surveyor start the process. But again, old deeds talk about identifying starting points that no longer exist, which is why probably everyone that has attempted to do this has come back with a different border. But
Okay, excuse me, Deborah.
Okay. Yes.
Now, see, Deborah just demonstrated the passion that everybody has. When we try to do an elevator speech, it's not going to work because
Okay.
there's just so much information. So, Deborah, thank you very much.
That covers pretty much.
Okay.
Yes.
But thank you very much. And so now we're going to move on to our second cemetery, which is Zion Union Cemetery in Franklin County. And I'm just going to try to, remind everybody, because we have so many speakers, we have 10 speakers, try your best to keep it brief, because we do want to have time for questions and answers. All right. Thank you very much. And Zion Union is represented by Christopher Frisbee.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
Happy to be a part of this, and now I'm on the spot to keep things neat and tidy and brief here. I think I can do that. Zion Union Cemetery, as Bertha was just mentioning, is in Franklin County, in the borough of Mercersburg. It's south central Pennsylvania, sitting essentially right on the Mason-Dixon line. The cemetery is founded in 1876. One of the most notable features or aspects of the history connected to the cemetery is that we have a great many veterans of who are USCT and specifically the Massachusetts 54th. So that for as long as I have been helping as a steward for the cemetery has been a great sort of hook, and just it's clearly of historical importance, but as far as interpreting the site and reaching out and finding support from the community and applying for grants and things, tying the site to those soldiers and then the broader community with a really rich history of the free Black community in the area is a great interpretive historical feature of the site. So we are really thrilled to be a part of this group and to have received the grant and really also to have worked with the consultants with Jason Harp and everybody in the group. But Jason and Richard Grubb and Associates did produce a plan for us, which at this point really feels like homework. I'm an educator, and there's a lot there for us to try to do and live up to, but I'm so grateful for that. It gives us a kind of roadmap and best practices. And what I love is you can see in the plan, and what also has come out of this sort of this group and this network is the power of that network, right? That I have learned so much in recent years by what y'all are doing. And in the very beginning, when I first got involved doing this sort of thing, which is around 2005 or 6, I felt, and our group felt so very much alone, right? That we were doing this on our own. And, we were passionate and excited about doing the work, but didn't have a sense that there were so many other sites and groups of people who were basically in the same situation, right? Or variations of our situation. So I think there's so much power in this network, and we greatly appreciate that. And so in the end, what we did with our funding was, it did allow us to purchase some tools and equipment for the ongoing care and maintenance of the site. It's a 3-acre site. And then also, per the recommendation of the plan, to do some more interpretation. So we're doing some signage. That was sort of the last step. Or most recent step is that we're installing some signage, and the grant funding is paying for that. So really helpful, practical stuff. And again, can't thank all of you who are involved in this enough. I see some friends, mentors, colleagues here on the call, but really happy to be a part of it, and look forward to what we can do in the future.
Thank you, Christopher. Our next speaker will be from Lindley Hill Cemetery in Chester County. That would be Reverend Ivy Berry. Reverend? Or Alice Rice. Alice? Excuse me, not Alice, Angela Rice. Hi, Angela.
I know, I'm trying to unmute myself.
Thank you.
Okay,
You just muted yourself. Unmute again. Hit the button one more time. You are still muted. Okay, it seems like we're having a little technical difficulty. Let's go to the next one and we'll come back to Miss Rice.
All right.
Thank you.
The next cemetery, I think you can hear me. The
Yes.
next cemetery would be Thornberry AME Church, and that would be Reverend Angela Baker, and that's in Delaware County.
Good evening, all. Good evening. Good evening. Am I coming across okay?
Yes.
Amen. Amen. And so, as you can see, I am a pastor. I am Reverend Angela Baker, the pastor of Thornberry AME Church in Glen Mills. And I represent Thornberry Cemetery, which is in Thornberry Township in Delaware County. And we're located at 646 Cheney Road, Glen Mills, PA, 19342. And I will be brief. And I just wanted to share that we are so unique. We're so unique, and we are honored to be to have so many, at least 30 U.S. CTs or colored troops that are buried in our cemetery. And we even have some War One who is buried there as well. Not to mention that we have so many prominent members of the community that is buried on our cemetery, as well as we believe that a lot of Underground Railroad or slaves are also buried in our cemetery. We've been working on, and we have been involved in trying. Lately we've had some vandalism at the cemetery, which brings sadness to me. However, I'm so hopeful because of the work that we're doing that that will stop as a result of us clearing and cleaning and preparing and honoring our veterans, as well as letting folks know that we are a historical location. And through this grant, it is allowing us to preserve that land, as well as the cemetery that is there. And we are involved because it is our desire and our goal to resurrect the legacy as well as the memory of all of our persons that are buried in our cemetery. We have at least 200 people that is there, and that we discovered as we had cleared a lot of trees, as we cleared a lot of thistle and bush, because we were able to try to use and stretch the finances that we received to be very productive in our efforts of bringing back to life. And so that, and we still got so much more to do, right? But we are grateful for all the work, all the dedication, all the support, all the education, all of the knowledge that, because I never would think that I would be doing something like this, but I'm so honored and grateful for learning, for exploring, as well as living. And I know the families, as we continue this work, will be happy, will come and visit. I can see this being such a legacy for not only the church, but also for the community at large, because we have their support as well. And so, and that's phenomenal. I am so excited about what we're doing. And it is the result of you guys coming along and helping us to do the work that we are called to do. Thank you for allowing me to share. And that's my report.
Thank you very much, excuse me, Reverend Baker. And just to give you an idea, if you're familiar with Cheney University, that church, Thornbury AME Church and Cemetery, is near Cheney University. We're going to go back to Angela Rice at Lindley Hill Cemetery. Angela?
Why, good evening, everybody. I finally got the glitch out of my system. Thank you very much for your patience.
Yeah.
I am just overjoyed that Sister Bertha Jackman has helped us immensely getting our project started. Lindley Hill is located in East Callan Township. You know, in the Chester County area, we have several different townships, and this Lindley Hill is nestled in the middle of a residential area. But when we started this project, it's one of those things like we needed to find out which comes first, the chicken or the egg. So we finally settled with the amount of grants that we were given. We were so excited that we were able to get down to cut down the trees that are around the original foundation of the Bethel AME Church, and for some of the other trees that are in the area, to get all the brush and everything cleared away. I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity with working with the University of Penn, when the professor and the students there came, and we were just excited to watch the drone go over the entire cemetery to mark the area, because we needed to get some of the trees down, some of the brush away, so that they can map us out. Now, the last occasion that they came, we have half of the cemetery, as you know, with the winter and everything, we need to get the other half of the cemetery where the trees have fallen and all of that cut up. But for the area that they worked on that Saturday, just to do the ground, the ground survey,
yeah.
The ground, oh, it was just amazing. You know, you get excited when you learn something new, and to watch the young adults they're excited about it, and we get excited about it, because the ground cover to do all of that was amazing, just to watch that ground penetration. So they were able to do half of the mapping so that we can find out where there's some sunken graves that are not marked. We do have quite a few areas that are headstones and everything needs to be repaired, but we're excited. This is beginning a project that we were able to get the grants to get up our rules and regulations up, because as someone else said, that they were having vandalism, but you need to have it posted, because the police really can't do anything or help you if you don't have your rules and regulations posted. So we were able to secure a sign for that. And we just, in the last couple of weeks, they finished out our directional signs for the street. So it's exciting. And we've got the people that are working on our signs excited because it's just, I said, do you realize how historic this is? We have people that are buried here from the colored troops that served in France, from the 54th Massachusetts Infantry, and from the 809th Pioneer Division of World War II vets. And the cemetery, the first burial was in 1883. So we are so excited to be a part of this and part of this history. And we're getting everybody else excited about it too. So whenever we finish this project, we said, y'all know y'all are part of history, so you're going to have to come back. So we thank you so very much for all of your help and guidance. We're just excited that we can finally put our cemetery on the map and make it presentable for all the vets that have served, Lord knows how many years ago. You're talking about over 100 years. And we just want to honor each and every one that's buried there. And we're excited about it because we know we're coming up on Memorial Day, and we have our Boy Scout troops that have been working in the weeds and the bushes and everything else. Now the level, at least they can at least put some proper flags down for the sites that we can see. And as we go along, our main goal is to recover once we get everybody staked out. I hate to say it like that, but all of the burial spots and the proper headstones, we are going to cover it and level it out and put greenery, nice greenery. That's our golden thing, is to really make it presentable. So I thank each and every one of you for all of your help and guidance. It has truly been amazing, and we're excited. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And Angela, thank you very much for all of your excitement, which is infectious. And it rolls over to everybody else. Our next speaker is going to be from Bellefonte Union Cemetery in Centre County. And that would be Thomas Callander. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, Callander. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much.
Wonderful.
All right.
Would it be okay if I made a one slide that you can see some images? Would it be okay if I shared that?
Actually, no, and only because it would not be fair to everybody else who actually, some people did ask if they can do that, but given the time constraint, we're going to say no to that. So you can just go ahead and speak from it.
Wonderful. I will send the link in, and anybody will be able to access that afterwards.
And we can put it on the website also.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
So Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, Centre County, right near Penn State, smack dab in the center of the state. And we are a historic cemetery. We have people that were buried in 1796, I believe, at another cemetery, and then were shortly thereafter transferred to Union Cemetery around 1804 or 1806. We have Revolutionary War era veterans buried in our cemetery, and we have a sizable number of USCT members that are buried with us. We have over nearing 10,000 graves, so it's quite a large cemetery, over 19 acres. And our focus here with the PA Hollow Grounds grant money that we received was really to repair headstones that had been broken or had succumbed to sinking into the soil. I saw somebody asked in the chat if there was a way to find those. That is, there are numerous ways. One, you can dig, and two, you can use ground penetrating radar, which is expensive, and we are looking into that for the future. But for this purpose, we were able to use some of the stones that we already were aware of and needed some work. Many USCT stones, and we were able to fix about 34 headstones with a project that we had done. In addition to the grant money that we had received, we spent some of the money that we have been able to accrue through donations and other grants to do about $12,000 worth of repairs this spring, a winter and spring. That included raising stones in order to re-pour new footings that should last well beyond our lifespan at a depth of like 36 inches. It's a lot of concrete, and it adds up quickly. So every little bit counts, and we're so thankful for the grant money that we received to do that. We were able to find a number of stones because of the tools that we were able to have access to through the grant money coming to us that we don't normally have access to help dig in some areas we knew that some stones had sunken, and we're able to recover those. And that's on our next batch of things to do, is to repair those stones and get them standing upright again. So I will send out the slide that I have created that has many different pictures, and I think the pictures really tell the story of, you know, what so many of us cemeteries in in Pennsylvania and across the country are facing, which is, you know, the earth slowly taking the stones away from us, and with that we can risk losing a lot of wonderful stories, especially from those members of our community that were formerly enslaved and whose stories weren't necessarily published correctly in the first place. So that's kind of our goal, is to continue unearthing stones that have maybe not withstood the test of time, and try to recover those. And then you know, hopefully we're looking to put some more signage up to help educate our community members about who is buried in that cemetery in various sections. So I want to thank Charlotte. You have been wonderful for us. We had a change of our board, our previous board. We had some people that had left since the grant process started, and a number of us are new. And she was very, very helpful in us kind of assuming the work that they had started with this grant. And without her help, we would be probably not where we are now. So thank you to you all. And I'm so empowered by hearing the stories of all your cemeteries, and keeps us going here in Center County.
Okay, it seems that we have lost Bertha. So give me one moment. Our next cemetery Payne Chapel.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Marilyn Fisher. I pastor a church down in Canonsburg, which has basically the same name as the cemetery. It's Payne Chapel AME Cemetery. It's located in downtown Canonsburg and in Washington County. So I have to tell you that this has been quite an adventure. It was not maintained when I was first assigned to the church. So we were able to get some help through the furlough into service program through the correctional facility of Washington County. And they come in the summer, and every other week they cut the grass and maintain the property, which has been a big help financially to us. But what's really unique, what we feel is unique with this cemetery, is we have 19 Civil War veterans. And there are other veterans as well, but we're still finding these things because we're putting the pieces of history together. And we do have those other veterans. We have 4 founders of the church that are buried in that cemetery. So that makes it pretty unique to us, because that way we go back to the records and we actually see where they are in the cemetery. There's over 800 burials there, and only 175 of them have stones. I was on this little quest of trying to make my own ground penetrating radar device. I kept trying to talk my son-in-law into it because I got the schematic for it. Didn't work. But anyway, we do want to still continue to check, because I do believe that there's places that are undiscovered in the cemetery. We did a cleanup project based on some of the things that we needed to do to fulfill our obligation with the preservation project. But we just really are thrilled that we were able to get all of those stones were reset. The ones that needed to be reset, we were able to get those reset. We came across this marvelous person. He's wonderful. So we had that done, and then we had some tree removals done, which, you know, I got to tell you, Not that we don't need the money to do this stuff, but the number of people that come forward when they see that you're trying to do something to preserve this was just unbelievable. When we had the cleanup day, we did have the Peters Township Horticulture Club came. We had master gardeners that were on site. VFW. We had tons of people that came from all around. Just I didn't even know who they were. Came to help. So just. You say, why am I involved? Well, when I came to the church, it was about the church, right? Because the church was really in disrepair. But as soon as that church, we were able to get something there, that cemetery became my focus. And I just love working on that. I mean, it just grabbed a hold of me, right? And Miss Hazel Murray, who is my little sidekick, and she's on this as well. She is just a wealth of information. I don't know where this woman, she has all these things and these avenues to go down. So we were really thrilled to be able to get that grant. Yeah, we did need funds, but just to be known that we exist was, you can't believe how we felt. It was like, oh, we're not out here, that one voice crying in the wilderness. There are people that see us, and know that we do exist, and they care that we exist. But we did, we're starting to work the plan, and the plan it is going to help us tremendously. So I really thank you for all that you've done. Just the camaraderie with the people that are so passionate about things here. We just could not have done it without you. We could not have done it with you. Much work to do, but I'll tell you, God sent you our way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fisher. At
You're
this
welcome.
time, we are going to have Green Lawn. Is Janet Baldwin on?
Yeah,
Hi.
she's unmuting.
Yes. There she is.
So in order to keep things short and to the point, I created a PowerPoint, but it sounds like we're not able to use those this evening. So I just will, quickly describe what was on there, and then I'll try to figure out how to share that. There is some video on there, but anyway, we were delighted to be selected, for receiving this grant. We know it is difficult when when most grants require 501c3 status and some evidence of, receivership or ownership or authority. And so Jason Harp helped us develop a plan, and we established our 3 priorities as to, working towards getting recognized as a 501c3. And I must say, we've just received word as of April the 11th, I believe, thanks to a tremendous amount of effort on Al Grasty's part to make sure that all of that was followed through, and the grant provided support for that. We also have some lawyers who are working to sort out the receivership issue. And so, that was helpful to know that. When we received the grant, we recognized it was a really big deal. And but at that point too, we were just very overwhelmed. Our cemetery is 8.5 acres, and it felt like the weeds were choking us. Al is just a extraordinarily faithful steward and cared for a very large section, faithfully. But we were hampered by just gaining access. However, we did get a request from our Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon to come and visit. So it's that was a tremendous leverage point for us, because we chose to develop a binder that told the stories and noted the grant opportunities that were going to be provided, what our vision was beyond that, and the challenges that we face. But and then because Mary Gay Scanlon was coming, we were able to leverage that and invite anybody who was an elected political official. And guess what? We had 100% attendance. So that, grants provide you with resources, but leverage is also a tremendous benefit, and it was for us. So, we walked the cemetery. We have we viewed the location where Alexander McClay Williams was buried, and he is the youngest young boy who was electrocuted by this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He has since been, after years of work, he has been exonerated. It was a crime that he did not commit and could not have committed, but there was tremendous injustice. So, visiting that and then having a record in the binder of that story was I think very helpful. We also, gave copies of the binder to each elected official so that they would have that information when they went back to their office, instead of just, it was a nice afternoon, they've got that piece. And we pointed out the grave stones for our Civil War veteran, and we had at that time 4 Buffalo soldiers that were, we were aware of their gravestones. And lo and behold, we finished that event. The grass is still growing, but those connections produced results that were just beyond our imagination. And I must say, State Representative Leanne Kruger was from, Green Lawn Cemetery is located in her area, and it exists because African Americans were not permitted to be buried within the city limits of Chester. However, these were people who lived in Chester. So State Representative Carol Kazim, who represents the city of Chester, became an active partner as well. So it was huge for us to have 2 state representatives working with us. And Carol Kazim, Nicole Cogdell was her chief of staff, and she attended the event and kind of became hooked. And Carol Kazim allowed her to spend an incredible portion of her time working with us. And as a result, we had partnerships developed with 25 different groups. There was a group called Heroic Gardens, and they are still connected with us, and they are connected with veterans, so they are doing a lot of beautification in the front, and then coming to our community work days. And I Want to Mow Your Lawn Incorporated, and they leverage some relationship with Milwaukee Tools, and we had $15,000 worth of equipment donated. And so the final piece of that, we made the decision that we wanted to bring honor to the Civil War veteran and the Buffalo soldiers. So right before the Veterans Day, we had 2 landscapers bring like 8 men each, and they just went through the back of the cemetery. And for the first time in a long time, we were able to see that and to hold that cemetery, that event, and just share and celebrate. And it was truly a very, very moving moment, because we had a military honor guard do a flag ceremony for those veterans and present those flags to the families. Extremely meaningful.
Thank you so much, Ms. Baldwin. we really, really appreciate that. If you have any type of more information, we can put it on our website. You can send it to PA Hallowed Ground. If we can next have African Union, which is Bruce Flickinger. Is he on?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much.
All righty. We have, I'm sorry, if you just give us 1 minute.
Yeah,
We
I'm
have
sorry.
Bruce, who's next. Then we have Lincoln, Dauphin County, which is Rachel. And then we're going to do just a quick Q&A. So we're asking everyone still to make sure that we're keeping this brief. We don't want to, prolong a lot of things.
I will keep it moving.
There you go.
Message received.
Go
Thank
right
you.
ahead, Bruce.
Hey, everybody. My name is Bruce Flickinger, and I'm really grateful and really honored to be here with you all, and to see so many people involved with this type of work. It's really great and inspiring. I am involved with an organization called Friends of the African Union Church of South Coventry. We have a website. I'll put the link in the chat after I'm done. So we are maintaining both physically and also historically trying to research the history as much as possible of a small church and cemetery in Chester County, northern Chester County, about a few miles outside of Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I grew up in that area, and little kids, everyone knew about the abandoned cemetery in the woods. That's where all the kids went to play, because it was cool. You're playing in a cemetery in the woods. So it was in total disrepair, totally abandoned, totally forgotten, totally overgrown. And we, since 2010, we were formed, have been rehabilitating the site, and as I said, researching its history. So we've done a lot. We have done the ground penetrating radar, identified graves, done a lot of work at the State House, looking into deeds and census in the area. The earliest grave is from 1834. The last grave we have dated is in the 1880s, 1888, I believe. We don't have any soldiers we know of, but there's a strong connection to the local ironworking community in that area with the Hopewell furnace and those types of sites that are very, very close by. So I won't get it. I'll put a website in the chat so that you guys can take a look at what we've done. The grant that we have received from the Hallowed Grounds group has been instrumental, particularly the preservation plan. I believe one gentleman earlier mentioned it was like a homework assignment, which it's been great. I mean, it was a great, number one, it was a great assessment of what of kind of the current state of affairs, but it also gave us some great to-do list of things to get busy with. And one of them, as a matter of fact, was to explore being included in the National Registry of Historic Places, and we've begun that process. There is first an eligibility step. You do a submission to see if you're even eligible to submit to be on the National Registry, and we have passed that hurdle. So we are deemed eligible to proceed with the process of applying to be on the National Registry of Historic Places. So that we're really excited about. But more immediately, the grant money, we received two separate grants, have been instrumental in physically, as other people have mentioned, a big challenge is just physically maintaining these sites. And we are in the woods, so there's a lot of clearing and brush removal and that kind of stuff that has to go on an ongoing basis. The grant was helpful in removing some large dead trees, which were on the site and presenting a hazard to visitors. I'm talking very large old trees that were dead and could have come down in a windstorm. So they were removed with the help of this grant money, which was not something we could have done ourselves. And we've been able to purchase some equipment and some tools. We have great community engagement. We hold regular cleanup days and kind of community days, and we have a lot of volunteers that show up and help us kind of clean and maintain the site. But a lot of them don't have tools. So this is great. We've been able to kind of stock up on some necessary tools and supplies, and this will really help us going forward in just kind of that ongoing maintenance of the site. So that's it. I could go on forever, but I won't, and I've been told not to. So it's really great to be here with you guys, and really inspiring to hear everyone's stories. And I will put our website in the chat if anyone is interested in finding out a little bit more about what we've been up to. So thank you so much.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much, Bruce. Now we will have Rachel from Lincoln, Dauphin County.
Hi,
Hello.
I hope everyone can hear me. Okay, there's a loud fan going in the background behind me.
We can hear you just fine.
I'm Rachel Curie Williams, and I am the executive director of Soul, Saving Our Ancestors' Legacy. And we have been restoring Lincoln Cemetery for 3 years. One thing that makes at least our situation unique, apparently, in this group is that we did not receive funding for a project. And I think that probably we feel a little bit more challenged than anybody else does who's on the meeting right now. We were really hoping that this cemetery, the plan could help to address issues that we've been having in coming to restore Lincoln Cemetery, that Harrisburg is maybe somewhat unique in that it, as a transportation hub in the 1800s, that there's a large majority, a great majority of descendants of the over 10,000 people that are buried here are not located in the area any longer, and that we really felt like we wanted to address that issue and the issue of ownership of Lincoln Cemetery. And we were not able to really do that. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Rachel. And now we're going to go into our Q&A. Crystal?
Oh, hey. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Jeannie. You can
Okay.
hear you.
I think that all of our chat questions were addressed by other participants, but if not, folks should speak up. We did receive some very general questions with registration that I think may have been addressed as well. But let's see, did we just get one new one? No. So I think we just need to look to participants if they have any additional questions right now.
Hi, this is Chris Frisbee again from Zion Union in Mercersburg, Franklin County. Guess my question and sort of, if I may, an appeal would be to share out. I'm sure this is somewhere just a list of contact information for those assembled so that we can leave here with the ability to connect and reach out to one another. And our cemetery association and site, and it sounds like for some others here, I've floated and the idea and mentioned to a number of people recently. It sounds like there's some experience and or interest in the ground penetrating radar, and that's something we want to do at our site, which is again 3 acres. And so, I mean, my thought is that it would be nice if for those of you who have experience with it, I would love to hear more. But for those interested in doing it, and that we might pool resources because it sounds like it is expensive, and I'm trying to look for a way where 3 or 4, however many sites, might pool some resources and have that service done at our respective cemeteries and work together on that. So if there's anybody interested in that, I mean, that's something that I would like to do. maybe talk to folks about.
Yes, Chris. Yes, UPenn, University of Pennsylvania, has a contact with a university out in the western part of Pennsylvania. And I'm trying to find that information that we can put into the chat. So there is the ground penetrating radar, and there's also a technique called LIDAR that that Lindy Hill used. And LIDAR is a software, I believe, that can actually go through trees, that can see through trees and bushes. So once I get that information, we'll put that back out. We'll put that into the chat. But University of Pennsylvania has a contact with another university in the western part of the state. So we'll get that information. Yes,
Thank
I
you.
hope that's helpful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I believe Marilyn Fisher had her hand raised. So Marilyn, if you'd like to.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where I was going down that road of the GPR. So that's good information. So I went ahead and copied some of this down, and I think I'll be in touch with you, Bruce F. I'll be in touch with you. Thank you.
Hi guys.
Okay, sounds great.
We do have Ivy Berry on, who was running late from work. She just had one quick moment to talk. Ivy, you want to take yourself off?
Yes. Thank you so much. And I do want to apologize to everyone. I got off late from work, but I did not want to let the time pass without saying thank you to PA Hallowed Grounds and Preservation PA and everyone else who had an opportunity to grant us some money. We are extremely grateful. We did have the ground penetrating radar done at our cemetery. Also, we have purchased a domain. We've had 3 signs installed, a new cemetery sign, a rules sign, and a directional sign pointing people back to our cemetery. And we have landscaped an area of our cemetery that the original church was planted on, all because of your granting. And we are so thankful. Because we are doing things and we're publicizing it, we did have a resident reach out to us and shared some information through the National Cemetery Administration. There are grants and projects that can be done for these cemeteries. There's a cemetery restoration and a veterans restoration for gravestones and markers. If anyone is interested, I can definitely put that in the chat, but just wanted to make that available to everyone. You know, there are different resources that we can tap into for our cemeteries. And I just want to thank PA Hallowed Grounds for opening up these doors for all of us. Very much appreciative.
Thank you, Reverend Berry.
I think we have one last hand raised from Maxine Cook. So,
well, we like to thank everybody. We are getting ready to shut it down, but we were going to have a special session at our conference for all of you. So we hope you stay tuned. Keep looking at the website for just different things. And we pray that you have a great night. Thank you so, so much.
Okay, Crystal, can we get?
Could you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but can we get the question from Maxine Cook? One last question.
I did not see that.
Okay, Maxine.
Thank you. Yes. Hi, good evening. So I put into the chat earlier that I am new to this restoration of cemeteries, and it's because I had an interest in my own ancestors buried in Wrightsville at the Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, at the Mount Pisgah Cemetery. I am very interested, and I do see now that there has been some contact information put into the chat, but I did want to find out who I could be in contact with, and I see that's been put in the chat, but also the restoration, I didn't catch the name of the restoration organization.
Barbara?
That's it.
Okay. Barbara Barksdale?
I'm not sure which organization she's referring to.
Would that be Preservation Pennsylvania?
Other than us and
Yes.
PP.
You said Reservation, Pennsylvania?
Preservation.
Preservation Pennsylvania.
Preservation. Okay, I
Mhm.
wasn't hearing well. And
That's
thank you
okay.
for that. I think that is exactly what I needed. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. Folks, we're going to wrap it up now. I do want to say thank you all for attending. We are definitely, like Crystal had mentioned, we're going to be doing this again at our November meeting. Hopefully by then there will be a lot more for you to report to the group, and we're going to be carrying this across Pennsylvania. So, don't give up. Know that you got a shoulder to lean on. We're going to do our best to help everybody. It may not be what you want, or what you need, but we're going to do our best to try to give it to you one way or the other. Okay, either by support or any other kind of way that we can help you, just to say that we're there for you. All right. Have a blessed day. Take care, and we'll be talking to you soon. Send in your information to us so that we can get it online. And any kind of follow-ups or questions, just send them in to us and we'll get them back to you. All right. Have a great day, folks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.